Hi, my name is Kevin Fernandez and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite underrated games. You know, you guys may play some, just a little heads up on this list, you may play some of these games at your house, maybe around your state, your whatever country you're from, whatever, but I'm just talking about from what I've observed with my game groups, with my little circle of people. These are games I feel like don't get enough attention, but should get some attention. That's all. And like I said, it'll be differing, varying case by case. These are just the ones that I feel aren't getting enough attention. So, without me repeating for a third time, let's count down. Okay, so number 10 on this list is Nocca, and we recently just finished featuring this on the channel with our gameplay and how to play series. That's actually one of the reasons why I decided to do this. My wife Jordan, she was the one who decided that we should do this. It was actually her suggestion that I should do this. This is a game where you collect little colored dice. First you start by you pick a number 1 through 6. You do not add the numbers on the dice together, and you just pick the dice that have a, so if you say 1, you pick all the dice that has a 1. If you have a 2, you pick all the dice that has the actual number 2, not 2 1s. That's something that you can't do. And then in 3, you pick up the dice that actually have a 3 on it, not a 1 and a 2, okay? Same thing with 4s and 5s and 6s. You can't add the dice. You have to just take the number as it is. And then you just focus on colors by putting them on these little cards that have like the different colors in them. And then of course you score points by how many jars of specimens that you've completed. And then you play a second round in that where you just kind of have less dice, and then you just play until everybody's pawn has been placed. And when you're done, you count up the score. Whoever has the most points wins the game. This is a pretty fun game. Like I said, I have a how to play video on it. I'm going to link it in this portion of the video, so feel free to check it out. I do feel it's pretty underrated. I played this at Gen Con. I loved it instantly. It was a great game. Number 10, Nocca. Okay, so number 9 is Flourish by Starling Games. This game, you're kind of building your own garden. There's a lot of stuff you have to look out for, including stuff that that the other people at the table are doing too. I believe this game is a cooperative game. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not gonna fully like push on that one. So I'm not quite sure. But this one has a beautiful artwork. It's a really fun game. You can plant like roses and like a little path and bridges and all sorts of stuff. But there are some cards that do work well with others, but you might want to hold off because some cards will work if they're to like the person to your right or the person to your left or the person sitting straight across from you. There are some little gimmicks in there that might make you want to place different things in your garden in a different location. This one is a pretty fun game. Like I said, I played this one at Gen Con. I do like it. I think Jordan likes it too. She's nodding yes. Jordan likes it too. So number 9 is Flourish. Oh wow. So number 8 is Detective Club. And I just found this out. Every single game on this list we played at Gen Con. So, yeah, I'm not gonna say I played this one at Gen Con. Let's just assume that every game that I'm gonna talk about on this list, me and Jordan have played at Gen Con. I just realized that. But Detective Club is by Blue Orange Games. It's got that like Dixit style like artwork. on it. So what you got to do is everybody around the table gets these pads of paper, or if you're playing on your phone, you get a secret word. You put down a secret word, they'll jumble it up automatically and everything and send it to everybody. The people who don't have the secret word, that's the person who's the traitor. And so then you basically place a card. You play 2 cards that you think is associated with that word. And then you have to explain it. Then everybody takes these little magnifying glasses and they put them down on the table, and that's who they think is the traitor. If the traitor's found out, then everybody gets like a bunch of points and they miss out. But if the traitor manages to trick everybody, then they get all the points, as well as the dealer. The dealer and the traitor are kind of working together with each other, but even the dealer doesn't know who the traitor is. And I mean, like, the traitor can do something silly like saying, "I don't know what this is." And then everybody would be like, "That's the person who did it because they said, I don't know what this is." I may be picking on Jordan a little too much with some of these games. But that's a true story. We played this at our game night with our friends, and Jordan did just blatantly, at the top of her lungs, said, "I don't know what the word is." Like, I didn't understand the handwriting or something like that. Nope, I don't know what the word... Does anybody know what the word is? She just started asking. And they're like, well, she's it. But here's the funny part. The thing that made it super funny was she got away with it twice. That would have been her 3rd time in a row getting away with the secret word if she actually didn't oust herself. So that's why we all thought it was like hilarious, because she actually was really good at getting away with the secret word and everything like that. So if she did not say that, most people would still be kind of very confused, still thinking like, "Oh no, what's going on here?" So they wouldn't have known. If Jordan didn't say, "I don't know what this is," then everybody wouldn't have voted for her, and she would have gotten away with it for the 3rd time in a row. She would be laughing her head off. But anyways, this is a very nice game. It's a pretty fun game, especially if you have the full number of players, in my opinion. I think if you do have the full number of players for this game, which is, I think, 8. I got it right here. You're gonna have to take a look. It is 8, 4 to 8 players, ages 8 and up. If you have the full number of players, I highly recommend playing that game. I don't think it gets as much love, mostly because we do have games like Dixit, Mysterium, and Obscuro. I feel like those are the 3 that get the most love. The Disney Dixit probably got quite a bit of love recently because it's Dixit and it's Disney. But I feel like Detective Club, unfortunately, got pushed aside. So yeah, number 8 is the Detective Club. Okay, so number 7 is Kanagawa by Yellow. This game was, I don't even remember people actually talking that much about it. It's so weird because it's a Bruno Cathala game, and I don't remember that many people talking about it, even when it was like when it did first come out and everything like that. I don't remember people praising it that much. But then again, I think when Kanagawa first came out, this was when like board games were like the hobby board games, as we call them. But I guess now we don't have to differentiate between hobby board games and mass market board games, I believe, because hobby board games are kind of more of the norm now. So this was like kind of when this was coming out right when they were doing that transition. And the one thing I love about I love Bruno Cathala's games, but the thing is, I feel like when it comes to people who like don't play a lot of board games and stuff, I feel like something like a Kanagawa would be like, not intimidating, but it'd just be like, well, that's weird, it's painting, ugh, who wants to play a board game about painting? But it is a really fun game. You get to, if you want to, you can keep studying, try to rack up more points, but then you always have to try to get that paint. You get like more points if you line up seasons together, if you have certain like symbols and everything. It's a really fun game. I have featured it on the poll. Unfortunately, it has not been chosen yet. So right now we are doing our last poll of the season. And then we will be doing another one in like January or February. So be on the lookout for that. Kanagawa will probably not be on that because I like doing small box games. It's kind of big. It's got too big of a box for that. But I might do it during the transition. But yeah, number 7 is Kanagawa. Okay, so number 6 is Kites by Floodgate Games. Oh my gosh, this game is addicting. So basically what it is, you have a hand of cards. You deal out a hand of cards to you and all. This one is cooperative, by the way. I do know this one is cooperative. But you have like these little, these different colors and timers. And each timer has like a different speed of time. And so what you do is you play a card. And you start with this white timer. That one's going to start flipping up. And then you put this a card out. So you can flip the white timer or you can flip up one of the colored timers. And so then you flip up the colored timer. But if you see one of those timers starting to run out, you have to play a card with the same color to flip that over so you can keep it going. If any of your kites hit the ground, then that's it. You lose the game and you have to just continue with the points you have. Pardon? You have to continue with the stuff you have. I'm making Jordan laugh too hard. The baby's just gonna come shooting out. She'll be laughing so hard. So anyways, we play. So first, I think we played this like a Father's Day. It was somebody's birth. It was a special occasion. We had like some family members over, and we were waiting for some people to show up. And we wanted to play a big game with everybody. And so then I said, you guys want to play? So then they're like, well, I want to play a game because it's getting kind of boring. We were like, our patience was kind of running thin. And I go, okay, how about I get kites? Because it's a quick game. So that way, if someone does show up, we can add them in. Or when we finally have everybody, we can pick a bigger game. And they go, okay. So then we started playing it. And it started off like, okay, well, this is fun. By the time we had everybody at the house, I said, you guys want to go? We had already lost like 3 times. And then I go, oh, so you guys want me to go up, maybe get something a little more relaxing, probably not as edgy. He's like, set it up again! So we just played that like 8, 9, 10 times, trying to beat the freaking game. And it's just, it was so funny. We were all just like going crazy. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to play this card. And then go here. Finally, we finally managed to get rid of all of our cards. So we won the game. It was really funny. I think by the time we were all done, we all were like laughing so hard because we were having so much fun. Yeah, so number 6 is Kites. Okay, so number 5 is Stella by Libellude. This game is, again, in the Dixit style card game thing, but where you all kind of have to, so there's a word out there and you all kind of have to like try to mind meld together to figure out who is all going to pick the same stuff. Like there's toy. So, you look at these different cards, which cards do you feel represent toy? So if you have just one person, all you need to do is just have one person to match. Then you guys are like perfectly, and you get like 3 points off of that. You guys have perfectly managed to get in sync with each other and get 3 points for that. If you have more than 2 people, more than one person linked up with another player, then it's just 2 points. And then if nobody guessed the correct one that you picked, then you're out. And you don't even get to see if you scored for any of the other stuff. And you can go up or down the track based on, the further up you go, you're in the dark. So the farther away you go from your friends, the more in the dark you are by how many guesses you do. So it does get harder if you want to try to go like as a lone wolf. I do recommend you try to kind of stay with what your friends are doing, but you can't discuss it. You all have to keep that a secret. This is a pretty fun game. I'm hoping to feature this in the future since we are expecting a third player soon. I understand he won't be able to like totally join us at the table for a while, but it's kind of nice to know that this is something that we can do in the future. So number 5 is Stella! Okay, so number 4 is a game that even my wife doesn't really pay attention to. It's called Wizard Kittens. Magic and cats. And my wife goes poo-poo on that. So Wizard Kittens, you have to try to get rid of these curses that you unleashed in the classroom before the professor comes and catches you all. You have to get rid of all these curses. You get to play as these different kittens. This is by Magpie, which normally makes role-playing games. So this is a pretty interesting game that you can just pull out and play. It's pretty fun. It's pretty enjoyable. Again, don't know why Jordan doesn't want to play it. She's not a big fan of kittens, I guess. She just called me number 1. Yeah, unfortunately we didn't feature this one on the channel yet. Again, we got the poll going around. Yeah, like I said, every game on this list is games that I played at Gen Con. It was a blast. You have to have like these different ingredients to make these potions to get rid of these spells, and the more spells you do, and then there's also like to add on to your score if you manage to. There are like year-end goals, kind of like in Wingspan. So you have like these secret goals that you're also trying to complete, so you can get yourself some extra points. So you're not just like totally like relying on the game by itself. This game is pretty fun. Hopefully one day Jordan will think it's worthy of her time. But until then, number 4 is Wizard Kittens. Okay, so number 3 is The Loop by Pandasaurus Games. I remember this game was kind of popular when it first was being released, but then like as it like progressed, it just kind of quietly got swept away under the rug. There had been like at least 2 expansions to this game thus far. So that's even more shocking to me that there's been 2 expansions and the interest in this game has dwindled more and more. This is pretty fun to play, even just by itself. I know it's got 2 expansions, but this is totally a fun game to play by itself. So you get to play as these timekeepers, these time agents, and you have to go to these different places in time to get like all these different missions completed. And once you complete a certain number of missions, I believe it's based off of the number of missions that you need to complete is based off of the level of difficulty that you chose. So I'm not going to say like specifically what's the number because it depends on the level you chose. Once you do that, you win. However, if Dr. Foe manages to complete some of his goals, and again it's level oriented, so I don't or like he has certain things that he's missing, then he wins. And if there's certain like vortexes broken in the time-space continuum, 4 I believe is the common one, then you lose again for that. This is a pretty fun game, a pretty great game to work together on. So number 3, The Loop. Okay, so number 2 is Quest for the Antidote by Upper Deck. And so this one I'm going to say, we met the designer at Gen Con. Instead of just we played it at Gen Con. Okay, see, I can mix it up a bit. In this game, you are all poisoned by an evil king who wants to try to prolong his life. And so you need to go around the kingdom to find the antidote. But it's a different antidote for every person. It's all randomized. And you are slowly losing your life as you're progressing through this game. It is very cutthroat. It is very mean. And heck, even if somebody dies, you can like go through their corpse and pick their pockets and stuff. This is one of Jordan's favorite games, but ever since she became pregnant, we have not been playing this game with her because she's getting way too aggressive. at the game table, and we are afraid if we play this game, she will murder everybody. But I'm pretty sure she can't wait to get this back onto the table. We do have a how to play video on this game. It was like one of the first videos we featured on this channel, so feel free to check it out. And number 2 is Quest for the Antidote. Okay, so number 1 is Rise of Tribes. I do love this game. It's by Breaking Games. You go around, you have to try to collect resources and kind of upgrade your civilization. One of the nice things about this game is you can occupy the same space as your opponent. But if you have more people than your opponent does, then you have to go to war. And you have to try to defeat your opponents. But a lot of the times you can just kind of coexist. You can do different things. There's like morning. There's a morning side of dice. There's an evening side of dice. So evening you can do less. Morning you can do more. And then there's just neutral, where it's just like there's this neutral number that you can of resources and stuff that you can collect. Everything is all based off of a die roll, and everything's kind of cycled through this. So it's not like always the same symbols and everything like that. It's a pretty fun game. It's pretty enjoyable. Like I said, we have a how to play video on this, so feel free to check it out. But number 1 is Rise of Tribes. All right, there you go. There is every single game that I feel is underrated. If there's any games that you feel are underrated, please let me know in the comments below. I'd like to get a conversation going. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to be notified for top 10s lists just like this. Jordan's mocking me. And if you're in the charitable mood, consider donating to the Wounded Warriors Foundation. This is a wonderful charity. It's to help people who got wounded in active service back on their feet, financially back on their feet, and it's to help them out with a lot of stuff like medical bills and all sorts of other things. They do a wonderful thing. We featured this charity a couple times on this channel, so feel free to check them out. I'll leave a link to that in the description below, so feel free to check them out. And thank you for all the people who have donated, spread the word, and done a lot of other stuff for these charities that we have been talking about in the past couple of years. We do thank you. It means a lot to all the people who work hard to help these charities do what they possible. And thank you all for the people who volunteer for these charities. It's a wonderful thing that you guys do. Be on the lookout for our next top 10s list next year. But until then, thanks for the views.